Oh, hi there. I did want to, because one of my long term and, actual goals is to increase the quality of discourse that, we tend to see. One of the problems that I have, every time one of these shootings, like the tragedy in Buffalo recently creep up, or, anything tragic really is that there tends to be a tendency there's a tendency in the United States to oversimplify the cause because everybody's got an agenda, to blame one thing or another, and I don't have a problem with having an agenda. I mean, we all do at some time or another, but it's clear and obvious, that this should be transparent, so after what happened in Buffalo, the discussion has tended to want to, center around white supremacy, and I don't, I'm white. I don't have a problem with, you know, the white community coming to grips with the fact that we have this, element in our midst, and it's part of us, and it's a big problem. But my fear with the Buffalo shooting and blaming it all on white supremacy is that it's a bit of an oversimplification, about what happened. And the single cause fallacy is when you attribute an outcome to a single simple cause. The single cause fallacy occurs because we dislike uncertainty, and a single cause pattern provides a sense of understanding. When people feel like they understand the situation, not only are they less uncertain, but they can better understand any uncertainty they do feel. Keep reading to learn about the fallacy of the single cause fallacy, why it occurs, and how to overcome it. The fallacy of the single cause is a bias where we oversimplify the chain of events by making by making it a simple pattern of cause and effect. We do this because humans are adverse to uncertainty, including uncertainty over how events transpire. Looking for simple patterns that reduces uncertainty because the fewer elements involved in the situation, the easier it is to understand the chain of events. This mindset is dangerous because everything is affected by a complex web of influences and causes. There's never a single cause for large, complex effects like crime or success. Trying to find one leads people to pin responsibility on a single person or group. Blaming a single person or group alleviates everyone else's guilt without addressing systematic problems, which, lets the problems continue unhindered. To overcome the fallacy of the single cause, you can use the knowledge of this complex web of causes to your benefit. Dubé says, when trying to determine how to make a project successful, don't fixate on a single cause. So obviously, the big the big problem that I have with what happened in Buffalo is that yes, white supremacy did play a significant role in the tragic outcome that we saw and witnessed in Buffalo. But to pin all the blame on white supremacy alone is to oversimplify, the scale of the problem in order to, alleviate our uncertainty. I, for one, also feel that white supremacy was enabled by a weapon that is uniquely lethal. And in saying that, though, do I am I endorsing policies of prohibition and whatnot? No. I mean, obviously, banning guns isn't working out. You know, as it is. So like, what you think that a stricter regime of gun control would actually work? I mean, there are more guns than people in this country. Do you really want to be the one to order the ATF to be the one to grab them from people and seize them from people's cold dead hands? Because I don't want to give that order. I don't want to be the one responsible for that. And I think a lot about Waco and Ruby Ridge, and as much as I think that the white supremacist gang of people there were crazy and deranged in a big way, I think about it a lot, and I think you know why did we have to do anything about it? Like, why couldn't we have just left them alone? And how much better would things be if we had just left them alone? Like it just seems like, when you're dealing with this organized resistance of people that have just completely lost their minds and are, heavily armed, that you can send the feds in to deal with the problem, but that doesn't mean that you should.